Part 1. The envelope. I still remember the morning sunlight filtering through my lace curtains, soft, golden, and kind. It danced across the familiar walls of my home, the home I'd built with my late husband's hands and my endless prayers. That day, a letter lay on my dining table, a thick envelope with my son's handwriting. My heart fluttered with an old mother's excitement. Perhaps he's coming home, I thought. Perhaps he remembers, but when I opened it, the room tilted. The envelope held documents, my name, his signature, and the line that shattered my soul. Transfer of property ownership, my house, sold. I sat there frozen, the wooden chair creaking under my weight, the same chair where I'd once spoon-fed him soup during his fevers. He had sold the house without even asking me, and at the bottom of the letter, a note written in his quick, careless handwriting. "Ma, I'll explain at the airport. Pack your things, we'll talk there." The house around me suddenly felt colder than ever before. Part 2. The empty rooms. By afternoon the house was no longer mine, but I still moved through it like a ghost. The walls that once echoed laughter now whispered loss. I walked into the living room where my son once played with his toy trucks. I could almost hear his giggles. I could almost see his tiny hands clutching my sari. Every step felt heavier than the last. I opened my bedroom closet, only a few clothes left, some memories folded between shawls and photos. My husband's old watch lay on the shelf, ticking faintly, as if reminding me that time moves even when hearts don't. I packed slowly, a small suitcase with my life reduced to essentials. But when I turned to close the door, I couldn't. I stood there for a long while, staring at the room where I'd prayed, laughed, and cried. Then I whispered into the silence, "If this is what motherhood becomes, may no woman love so blindly." Part 3. The drive. He arrived that evening, my son Arif. His car gleamed, his shirt crisp, his eyes avoiding mine. "Come on, Ma," he said, taking my suitcase from my trembling hand. "We'll talk on the way." The drive to the airport was suffocating. The city blurred by, streets I'd walked for decades now slipping away like dreams. "Arif," I finally said, "why did you sell the house?" He exhaled sharply. "It was for the best. Maintenance was expensive. You couldn't live there alone anymore. I found you a place." I looked at him. My boy who once held my finger to cross the street. Now his jaw was tight, his words rehearsed. "Where is this place?" I asked softly. "You'll see," he muttered, and just like that my heart began to prepare for another heartbreak. Part 4. The airport. When we reached the airport, he parked near the departures terminal. People rushed around us, goodbyes, luggage, laughter. "Arif?" I asked, clutching my purse. "Where are we going?" He smiled faintly. "You're going to Karachi, Ma. I booked you a ticket. My friend will receive you. You'll stay there. A care home, nice place, peaceful." The world blurred. "A care home," I whispered. "You mean an old age home?" He looked away. "It's temporary. You'll be more comfortable there. Trust me." I shook my head, tears blurring my vision. "You sold my house, Arif, my memories, your father's dreams, and you're sending me away?" He didn't reply. He just handed me the boarding pass. "Security won't let me in without a ticket," he said quickly. "You'll be fine, Ma." Part 5. The abandonment. I sat in the waiting area, alone, my hands trembling. Around me, families hugged. Children laughed. Lovers whispered promises. And I, a mother, sat abandoned with a suitcase of old clothes and older memories. My son had left. I stared at the boarding pass through tears. The flight number blurred. My name looked strange, foreign. The announcement echoed. "Passengers for flight 712, please proceed to gate 4. But I couldn't move. My legs refused. My heart had stopped believing. I clutched my late husband's watch in my fist and whispered, "You were right. We raised him with too much comfort and too little conscience." A kind woman from the airline approached. "Madam, are you traveling alone?" I nodded, but my voice broke. "My son, he was supposed to come." She smiled sadly, placed a hand on my shoulder, and walked away. I watched the crowd fade until there was no one left beside me. Part 6. The forgotten phone. In the silence that followed, I noticed something, a phone ringing faintly beside my chair. It was his phone, my son's phone. He'd left it behind. My hands shook as I picked it up. The screen lit up. Messages, notifications, his world. I should have handed it to security, but something, a mother's ache mixed with instinct, made me open it. The first message on the screen read, "From Zoya, his wife." "Did you get rid of her yet?" Make sure the caretaker signs the transfer papers before you board. We need the money for the Dubai villa. The world spun. Another message followed, from Agent Malik. Funds received. The old lady's house is fully transferred. Congratulations. My breath caught in my throat. My vision dimmed. He hadn't just abandoned me. He had sold my house to buy luxury abroad. And I, the woman who'd once pawned her jewelry to pay for his education, had been discarded like a forgotten bag. Part 7. The Stranger's Kindness. A man noticed my distress, an older gentleman with kind eyes. He approached softly. Are you all right, madam? I tried to speak, but words collapsed into sobs. He guided me to a nearby bench, offered water. When I finally managed to breathe, I whispered, my son. He left me here. He sold my home. He nodded slowly, sadness in his gaze. Children forget what roots gave them wings. He introduced himself as Imran, a retired lawyer traveling to Lahore. He looked at the phone in my hands. Do you want me to help? He asked gently. I hesitated, but then I nodded. He sold everything that was mine. Imran leaned closer. Then let's remind him what he forgot. Part 8, The Forgotten Will. That night I didn't board the flight. Imran helped me find a small nearby hotel. I barely slept. My tears soaked the pillow. In the morning, he called a friend from the property office. What they found changed everything. Years ago, after my husband's passing, I'd signed a joint will. It stated that if the property was sold without my written consent, the transaction would be invalid after 30 days. My son had forgotten that clause. He had sold the house, yes, but the sale was temporary unless I approved it. My shaking hands pressed against my chest. For the first time in days, I felt a strange strength returning. Then I can still reclaim it? I asked. Imran smiled gently. If you act fast, yes, you can file an injunction. And just like that, I had purpose again. Part 11. The Confrontation. A week later, he appeared at my gate. His face pale, his eyes restless. Ma, please, we can talk. You don't understand. I raised my hand. I understand perfectly. You wanted comfort, not conscience. He looked down. I needed the money, Ma, I thought. You thought your mother's roof was your property, that my love meant permission. Tears filled his eyes. Ma, I made a mistake. I sighed. No, Arif, you made a choice. He fell to his knees. Please forgive me. I wanted to. I truly did. But forgiveness must grow in soil watered with remorse, not convenience. So I said only, I forgive you, but I cannot trust you. Not yet. He nodded, sobbing silently. Then he left, and I watched him go, the same way I'd once watched him take his first steps away from me. Part 12. The Letter. Months passed. The house healed with me. I repainted the walls, replanted the garden. The silence turned from grief to peace. Then one morning a letter arrived. From Dubai. It was from Arif. Ma, you were right. I let greed blind me. The villa is gone. We lost everything in a scam. Zoya left me. I'm alone now. Part 13. Grandma's unfiltered tears. Now when neighbors visit, they see a calm old woman tending her roses. They don't know that every rose carries a memory, every thorn a reminder. I've learned that betrayal doesn't end a story, it changes its language. I live alone now, but not lonely. I've turned my home into a small reading space for children. Laughter echoing through the halls again. Sometimes I still look at the airport photos online, wondering if Arif will walk through those gates one day. Not to leave, but to return. And when I pray at night, I no longer ask for his apology. I ask for his peace. Because motherhood, I've learned, is not ownership. It's forgiveness wearing armor. The end.